Someone in your life who acts completely different depending on who's in the room. Warm to your face, something else behind your back. It's tempting to write this off as some rare clinical trait. Real psychology says something more specific. Most two-faced behavior isn't a rare personality disorder. It's the extreme end of an extremely common, well-studied trait that most people have some version of. 5 real mechanisms behind two-faced behavior, and one honest caveat, because not all social adaptability is duplicity, and that distinction matters. 1. Self-monitoring theory. Psychologist Mark Snyder's self-monitoring theory identified a stable trait describing how much people adjust their behavior, opinions, and even expressed values to fit whoever they're currently with. High self-monitors read the room constantly and shift accordingly, sometimes shifting their stated opinions to match the audience, not just their tone. Low self-monitors stay far more consistent regardless of who's present, for better or worse. Two-faced behavior, at its core, is high self-monitoring without much of a stable internal position underneath it. The presentation isn't a mask over a consistent self, it's closer to the entire operating mode. Snyder's original research found high self-monitors are often genuinely skilled socially, which is part of why this pattern can go unnoticed for a long time. The tell. Does this person's stated opinions and warmth change specifically based on who's listening, not just their tone or formality? Here's the part that explains how someone does this without it feeling like lying from the inside. 2. Compartmentalization. Compartmentalization is a well-documented psychological mechanism where contradictory thoughts, values, or self-presentations are mentally kept separate, preventing them from directly conflicting with each other in awareness. This is what allows someone to say one thing to person A and the contradictory thing to person B without the discomfort that would normally come from holding 2 conflicting positions at once. The 2 versions simply aren't compared against each other internally. This matters because it means two-faced behavior often doesn't feel deceptive from the inside, in the moment. Each version can feel fully genuine while it's happening, precisely because the other version isn't present in awareness to contradict it. The tell. Notice if confronting the contradiction directly produces genuine confusion or minimization. I didn't say that. That's not really what I meant. Rather than clear acknowledgement. That's often compartmentalization, not necessarily a deliberate lie being covered up. There's also a specific interpersonal tactic built directly on top of this, one with its own name in relationship psychology. 3. Triangulation. Psychiatrist Murray Bowen's family systems theory, the same framework behind differentiation of self covered in an earlier video, also identified triangulation, bringing a third person into a 2-person dynamic, often by saying different things to each party, to manage anxiety or gain relational advantage without direct confrontation. Two-faced behavior frequently functions this way on purpose, not just as an accidental side effect of self-monitoring. Telling person A one version of events and person B another version, then letting the 2 of them sort out the discrepancy, keeps the two-faced person out of direct conflict with either one, while often positioning them as the sympathetic, uninvolved party in both conversations. The tell? If a conflict between 2 other people always seems to trace back to something this person told each of them separately, that's triangulation actively in use, not incidental. This tactic usually runs on a specific social currency, and it's one of the most well-documented functions of ordinary conversation. 4. Gossip as bonding currency. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar's research on gossip found it serves a real, measurable social bonding function. Sharing information about absent others, including critical information, builds a sense of intimacy and trust between the people currently talking. This is precisely the mechanism two-faced behavior exploits. Criticizing person B to person A doesn't just vent frustration. It actively manufactures closeness with person A in the moment at person B's expense. The uncomfortable implication follows directly. If this is happening to someone else in front of you, the same currency is very likely being spent about you. Elsewhere, to build the exact same kind of closeness with someone else. The tell. Someone who builds intimacy primarily through critiquing absent third parties is demonstrating the mechanism directly, not just venting occasionally. All of this comes with a real, measurable cost, and it's not the one people usually assume. 5. Wide networks, shallow trust. Research following Snyder's original self-monitoring work found high self-monitors tend to build larger, more diffuse social networks, more acquaintances, more social reach, but with measurably less depth and stability in individual relationships. The same adaptability that builds broad social access tends to undermine the specific trust that close relationships require, especially once a pattern of inconsistency across contexts becomes visible to any one person watching closely. This is the actual cost, and it's specific. Not isolation, but a network that's wide and thin, vulnerable to collapsing quickly once the inconsistency is noticed by enough people who compare notes. The honest caveat. One distinction matters here. Adjusting your tone, formality, or level of self-disclosure across different relationships, being more reserved at work, more relaxed with close friends, is ordinary, healthy social adaptability, not two-facedness. Self-monitoring itself isn't the problem. A huge portion of functional social life runs on it. The actual marker is contradiction, not adaptation. Saying materially different, conflicting things about the same facts, opinions, or loyalties to different people, specifically to manage how each one sees you. Adjusting how you say something is normal. Changing what's true depending on the audience is the pattern this video is actually describing. So, an extreme version of self-monitoring, running on compartmentalization instead of guilt, sometimes deployed deliberately as triangulation, funded by gossip's real bonding effect, and ultimately costing exactly the kind of deep trust it seems designed to protect. Not usually a rare disorder, usually an extreme self-reinforcing version of something most people do a little of. If you want the practical side, how to actually spot this before you're the one being triangulated, let me know in the comments.